Well, we've got Colleen Lloyd-Roberts with us of Brandgarden Mobile Applications, and she and her husband work together. I know them both well, and you seem to work well together. What's your answer to this guy, Colleen?
What's our secret? Richard and I had both been very successful entrepreneurs in our own rights beforehand, before we met. And we had always looked to each other and said, gosh, it would be great to have a company together. So where Joe is saying, hey, I'd like to see these two powerhouses split up. We've been split up. This is our opportunity. For us, this is kind of a cool dream team, and we get to work together, which we love. But I definitely see his point. What is really important is we have a thick, solid division line down our company and our division of who does what. And I can hire all my own staff, and he hires all of his own staff and his own people. And we talk about things together, but at the end of the day, my decisions in the marketing and sales department are mine. His decisions over the whole technology and expansion are his. And we can disagree, and I think that brings up another point, is you have to be able to be in a safe environment where you can disagree, but we really truly don't get involved in each other's businesses and each other's parts of the company. And that is really key, because I see we work with husband and wife businesses a lot as well. Mm-hmm. And I see where they will divide it up, but yet the husband ends up calling me asking a question, or the wife is calling asking a question, when really, if it was divided up, you wouldn't have to talk to both of them, because it's divided up. So it's a strict, thick line that's a division line, and you respect each other's opinions on each other's. And that's key, is respecting each other's opinions. And you might make a decision and it might not work, but you don't hold the other person, you don't make them feel bad, you don't hold them responsible. You're not like, oh, you caused us to make this bad decision. You try something, and if it doesn't work, okay, that didn't work, and then you move on. But
Yeah. In fact, I asked her to bring Richard on the show, and she said, nope, that's not his job. Well, we have clear delineation. Well, I'm supposed to be the spokesperson for the business.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you where it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem when you get much larger. And Colleen and her husband are going to find this to be true. What happens is, let's say there's new products and service that Colleen knows that the market needs. Her husband just doesn't want to do it, or may not know how to do it. We might have to bring some other technical people in to be able to provide that service. There's these areas that you'll start to see stress. And if she was an employee, not a wife, you know what I mean, then you could manage that. And it could be vice versa. He could be saying, Colleen, we've got to move in this direction. The future is X, whatever X is, and you're saying, but that's not really what the clients want, and I can sell 5 of these. I don't want to spend time learning a new technical product to be able to sell that over again. And so if you're not careful, what'll happen is it will slow growth down. You may never know it because you're not looking in that direction, but that's the challenge you run into when it's a husband and wife team. And then you've got these employees afraid to mention that, right? So that's the challenge. I'm not suggesting that Colleen and her husband have got to that point. You will find that to happen in most cases, and she hit dead on it. What stops this from happening is the respect from others. So if her husband says, Colleen, we've got to do that, we've got to make this offer, she's just got to respect her wicked smart husband and say, okay, tell me how to do it. Or he's got to respect her when she says, honey, we need this type of an app. If we don't have it, we're simply going to start losing market share. And he just simply has to say, all right, let me figure out how to do it. And that's not easy to do. So that's the challenge you run into with this. And as long as you can work through that, you'll see the company start to grow. If you can't, what'll happen is you'll see these trends just kind of level off, and you'll be asking yourself, I wonder why I'm not growing anymore. And you may never not know the answer, but people like you and I, Wayne, from the outside would be able to see that. And so that's the challenge. And I'm not saying it happens to everybody. Listen, there are some, few, but there are some very successful businesses where husband and wife teams are phenomenal and do extremely well. Let me give you kind of an example, not to be political, but like a Donald Trump. Donald, he's the man. He's in charge. The wife knows it, right? But his first wife was very instrumental. If you read his books, he could not have succeeded in the key area, because Donald Trump has this formula, which is spend about 20% more, and you'll end up with 50% more value. And only his wife could create that design value that made his property so skillful. So he really took advantage of the skills his wife had, right? Well, she also had a great respect that he is in charge. So there are cases that this works well, but it is a big challenge. And to then be able to separate that and then go home and then be equals again, that's really hard to do. So I don't want to say never, 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 but it's not easy.
Well, Colleen, you guys have grown really, really well. What have been some of the challenges you've had to address in that growth?
Well, honestly, Joe, I swear to God, you were listening in on a conversation in our house 3 weeks ago, because we had a conversation like that.
What we say here in this show is exactly.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't make Joe feel like
Richard, if you're listening, you're not the only one wicked smart, okay? Let's be clear about that.
Oh, you're the other one?
I think he's just wicked.
Yeah, I was going to
There
say,
you go.
maybe we better leave off the smart part.
There you go. All right.
No,
Back.
go ahead, please.
The challenge is that you have to respect each other's decisions, and if somebody says we have to grow, we had to change. My husband and I are both Sandler sales trained, and so I was doing all this networking, and I was doing door-to-door sales and using my Sandler sales to build the foundation. But at one point, I had to step back and say, this is not scalability. We can't grow a company one person. And I have studied online marketing. I've studied social media, and that is not my husband's forte. He's understanding it now, and he's really grasping it because he's wicked smart.
Right.
But I had to really say, like, we need to stop networking, and I need to just go full bore 100% online. I'm going to take some classes, really harness the power of online marketing. And then we also started to foray into do-it-yourself mobile apps, because that was an experience that we thought, gosh, we get all these people, we build their own platform, they can start building their own mobile apps. And that was something I was a little sketchy about. But again, you have respect for each other and you say, okay, let's go for it. We have since decided the build your own app is not for us. It doesn't provide the market for us that we really want. We want a higher caliber. We don't want the do-it-yourselfer. We want the person that says, here's my money, do it for me.
Yeah, right.
So we decided to
Well, they want your experience as well.
They do want our
absolutely.
experience.
They want wicked smart.
They want
man.
wicked smart.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the other thing that we bring to the table is that we are entrepreneurs first. We're not a tech company, so we get about growing a business. My husband and I have both built successful businesses, and so we look at an app differently than a typical tech company. And I think also that bringing that experience to the table between my husband and I gives us that added respect for each other, because we already have a proven track record. And so sometimes a husband and wife, they might not have a track record. I've got a brand new client right now, and they purchased a business, and she's been a stay-at-home mom for many years, raising her children, and now she's learning how to run this business with her husband. So I give her kudos, like, well done. We're really trying to educate and help them, because that's what we do. But it's you don't come to the table with, here's my resume, here's what I've already done. And my husband and I do. And so I think that's what makes a difference. And I will say too that you're right, there has to be one person that's on top, and it's not a power struggle, because at the end of the day, I love saying this, at the end of the day, the husband might be the head of the family, but the woman is the neck, and the neck can turn the head any way it wants.
Well, that was not worth a bell. But no,
Yes, it was. I think it's
well, because you could replace the wife or the woman with staff and partners all the time. Listen, I tell partners all the time. I met with a group of people that own a bar in the area, and there's some challenges with the bar relationship. There has to be one person. It doesn't mean they know everything. It doesn't mean they can control all the money. But somebody has to be in business. There has to be this one person. It is so important because what it allows you to do is have everything go through this funnel so you've got this major big picture plan and process. And here's the second thing. It's really important to the 49% partners out there. If you cannot convince your partner with 1 extra percent than you to do this, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. It's got to be something that you really firmly have researched. So what this does, this tier process does, it forces planning and presentation in an area that you should have already done, and if not, you won't be doing that. So it is so important that people hear this because there's so many partnerships that are 50-50, and listen, I don't care about on paper 50-50 or whatever. I care about at the end of the day, you look at your husband and say, I don't agree with you, but tell me how we're going to do it and we'll move forward. Can we agree that in 6 months, if it's not working, we'll look at it again? Exactly. And if you're doing that, then you're going to find this real respect and trust. And he is okay within 6 months saying, okay, you're right, let's stop this. Let's move on. The do-it-yourself isn't working. But we both feel comfortable that we tried to move in this direction and make that happen. So that really is an important piece of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's completely important. And it's not a power struggle and it's not an ego thing. You got to have one person who is just completely overall responsible for the company. There's got to be a top tier, a top tier person, and you have to respect each other. And you have to respect that person, and you have to flow power to that person in that position. And,
I let Wayne think he's in charge of this show all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You
betcha. Let's take a break, Joe.
I'll let the power flow to you. Okay, go on. You want to go ahead and send us to break. Go on. I'm going to put you in charge. Take us to break.
I don't want to be in charge.
You are.